You twins?
Nah, we cousins.
Right out the gate, Sinners hits you with a southern twang and a flash of cultural memory. Think humming grandmothers, spiritual warnings, and racially divided sidewalks. It's a gumbo of folklore, trauma, and ancestral power. And this reviewer is hooked. With a warning, spoilers ahead. Released on April 26, 2024, Sinners exploded onto the box office like a ritual gone right. With an $80 million debut weekend, it dethroned industry titans and carved its name in blood-red ink across cinematic history. Theaters weren't just sold out, they were baptized in darkness. Critics called it a fever dream you don't want to wake up from, and audiences, they couldn't look away. Sinners isn't just a film, it's a cinematic cocktail of From Dusk Till Dawn, Life, Salem's Lot, and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Michael B. Jordan plays the Smokestack twins. Both of them, and Miles Caton's Preacher Boy, joins the mix. These ex-WWI vets turned bootleggers are back in Clarksdale, Mississippi, riding the wave of Prohibition. And there's a supernatural inheritance at play. Their cousin Sammy's got more than just musical chops. He's what the elders call a griot, a living archive, a sacred memory keeper of their people's pain, triumph, and truth. Think part historian, part prophet, with a touch of something divine. His gift? It's not just storytelling, it's a spiritual recall. He feels the echoes of the past like their footsteps behind him. But with that power comes a price. Griots don't just attract admiration, they draw eyes from both the heavens and the shadows. As the twins pour their heart into the juke joint plan, the film begins to murmur like a warning wind through the trees. Something old is watching, and it's not just curious, it's hungry. The first red flag? That sawmill they just bought, it's too clean. Not fresh paint clean, but someone scrubbed away secrets clean. And then there's Hogwood, the seller. He shows up late, sweating through his collar, and over-explains why the clan is long gone. Too eager, too rehearsed. The twins? They clock it immediately. They're not fresh off the train. They've seen enough backhanded deals to know when something stinks beneath the surface. They lay it out clear. No trespassing, no games, no ghosts from Jim Crow's closet. But the energy in the scene shifts. What should be a business transaction hums with unease, like a church organ holding its breath. The land is too still. The air, too thick. It's that kind of quiet that warns you, you're not alone and you're not welcome. Enter history. Post-World War I, black soldiers came home expecting respect. What they got was discrimination, violence, and economic exile. The Red Summer of 1919 scarred a generation. Some turned to the only structured system that would take them, organized crime. These were trained fighters, tacticians, survivors. Sinners wasn't your mother's vampire movie. It fused theology with thirst, canon with chaos. Think Blade meets The Exorcist, but sexier, smarter, and soaked in sin. It didn't sparkle, it scorched. Black vets became bootleggers, bodyguards, and muscle for mafia outfits in Chicago, New York, and beyond. Not made men, but essential foot soldiers. This laid the foundation for future black underworld empires, and Sinners paint Smoke and Stack as visionaries in that very transition. October 1932. The Great Depression in full swing, Prohibition on its last legs, and America simmering. Capone was locked up. The mob was restructuring. Roosevelt's New Deal was on the rise. It's the perfect storm for a story about hustlers, outcasts, and a changing underworld. Smoke and Stack improvise their plans. Smoke handles logistics, food, and local help, firing warning shots at robbers and laying down street code lessons. Stack scouts musical talent at the train station with Sammy, bumping into old flames and future plot twists. And the juke joint? It's coming alive. Meanwhile, a burned man stumbles into a quiet house. His story? Attacked by Choctaw bandits. Bert and Joan let him in. But plot twist, he's a vampire named Remick. The Choctaw weren't attackers. They were hunters, protectors, and Remick just wiped out his rescuers. That's right. Sinners waits 45 minutes before dropping the vampire bomb. Suddenly, the juke joint isn't just the stage for good music, it's bait. Remick and his new recruits head towards Sammy, drawn by his ancestral melodies and the griot magic in his bloodline. The guitar Sammy plays? His ancestors, the father of Smoke and Stack. Their origin? Tragic. Stack killed their mother during birth, Smoke killed their father in retaliation. Pain, guilt, and protection, their blood is thick with it. And that guitar? It's the key to it all. In one stunning scene, Sammy plays that guitar and summons spirits. past, and future. It's RZA from Wu-Tang Clan meets ancestral seance. Fireflies, symbols of spirit guides in African and Choctaw cultures, swirl through the juke joint. It's haunting, beautiful, charged, and that's what draws Remick. Fireflies in the air, glowing eyes in the dark. Remick, too, may be a Philly, an Irish version of the griot. His goal? To merge his ancient gifts with Sammy's? To possess his power? To absorb his memory? Vampire lore with a southern soul? And here's where the film gets deep. Remick doesn't just want to feed, he wants to baptize. Sammy resists, quoting Psalm 23. But Remick remembers those same verses, forced on his people by colonial invaders. That's right, Remick's history traces back to Ireland, specifically Catholic oppression. At this point, even a hater has to concede to the beauty of cultural diversity depicted in this film. Irish Catholics suffered under the British, denied rights, education, and land. Many were sold into indentured servitude in Barbados, Jamaica, even Virginia. Remick's trauma is centuries old or inherited. Either way, he's a product of religious violence and historical exile. And it's not all metaphor. The Choctaw helped Irish famine victims in 1847, $170 sent overseas, despite suffering their own trail of tears. The film draws this historic thread tight. Remick's wife, killed by Choctaw hunters. But was she real or bait for sympathy? We're left to wonder. Bert says, no Indians round here. Yet Remick was chased. So, were the Choctaw still hunting monsters like him? Was he once their ally? Did they turn on him? Sinners never fully answers, but the mystery lingers, like smoke on a Mississippi breeze. Behind the camera, Ava DuVernay didn't just direct, she conjured. Her vision was bold, gothic, and unrelenting, turning cityscapes into cathedrals of carnage and catacombs of passion. Under her lens, Sinners became less a film and more a cinematic exorcism of every vampire trope that came before it. Then, there's the Chinese-American layer. Just when you think this film has maxed out its cultural references, it dives deeper. The South wasn't just black and white. It was a tapestry. Immigrants, outcasts, and forgotten communities shaped the juke joints and the monsters who haunted them. And let's not forget the soundtrack, haunting, hypnotic, and composed by none other than Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Each note was a razor blade dipped in honey. Every whisper, a scream. It wasn't just sound, it was a pulse. In a world where blood is currency and desire is deadly, one film dared to walk the fine line between salvation and damnation. Sinners didn't just suck blood, it drained the genre dry and rewrote the rules. Dripping with lust, betrayal, and moral decay, this vampire noir didn't just show us the dark, it pulled us under and kissed us goodnight. But the magic wasn't just in the plot, it was in the casting. At the heart of it all, Idris Elba, cloaked in centuries of sin, portraying Ezekiel, the excommunicated priest turned vampire slayer. With every line, every gaze, he whispered temptation and screamed redemption. Alongside him, Florence Pugh mesmerized as Lilith, the siren who bled seduction and secrets. By the time the final scene faded to black, one thing was clear. This wasn't just another vampire flick. This was a prophecy. Sinners resurrected a dying genre, kissed it on the lips, and made it bleed beauty. If this film haunted your soul like it did ours, and don't forget, of course, to subscribe for more cinematic deep dives. And tell us in the comments, did Sinners make you a believer?